Hey everyone, so today I've got some amazing dusts to show you from the nailspace.com. This one is Lagoon and it is absolutely beautiful. Now if you like the new CND patina buckle, which is out, but you don't want to invest in it, that is a really good other option. And this one is called Medusa and it's a really lovely sort of pinky rose goldy sort of colour. Now these ones are chameleon dusts, which means they actually change colour depending on the light, which is really cool. And this last one is Heart and Soul, and this is my absolute favourite out of the whole collection. They are absolutely beautiful. You can see how sparkly and shiny and lovely it is. It's just stunning. Next I have some from the premium collection to show you. This is Quasar, and rather than a dust, it's a really fine glitter. And in the pot it's coming up as like a sort of bright silver. Actually in reality it's almost like a clear. It's really beautiful and gives a lovely sparkle. And the other one I've been sent is Celaeno, I think that's how you say it. And this is amazing. It doesn't show up on camera, but it's got a very fine sort of violet blue shimmer to it, which is absolutely gorgeous. Now the lovely thing about all of these is you can do lots of different things with these powders, they're not limited. So to start with, what I've done here is I've covered some pops in a nude colour and black, and I've left the tacky layer on. So these are not top coated, they are just going straight onto the tacky layer of the gel polish. And I used Creamy Muffin from Celaeno and Jet, which is a Gellé's by Essential Nails colour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to burnish these dusts into the tacky layer using my brush on a dark and then the lighter one, so that you can see how different these powders look. One of the wonderful things about them is that depending on what colour you put them over, depends on the final effect you get. So you've got infinite possibilities with these powders. There really is so many different combinations you can do. And you'll see in a moment, depending on whether you put them over a darker colour or a lighter colour, they will show up completely different elements of the chameleon dust, if that makes sense. So on this one here you can see it's sort of like a blue almost with a pink tinge to it, and then you put it onto that one and it's come out completely pink. It's like a completely different colour, and then it's pink with a blue shimmer. They really are amazing, and they give excellent coverage, as you can see as well. You need only a tiny amount of it, and they really do burnish in nicely. There you go. You might be able to see a bit better once we've top coated in a bit, but these change colour depending on the light you're looking at as well, so quite often it's almost like that oil effect where you end up with one colour on top and a slightly different looking colour down the bottom. Now this one's more of a solid colour. It is a lovely really fine rose gold glitter to it. You can see it comes out quite deep over the black, but over nude it is a really lovely rose gold. It's beautiful. Lots of lovely sparkle to it. A quick brush off there. And you'll see in a moment my absolute favourite, Heart and Soul. You'll see why it's my absolute favourite. It is just one of the sparkliest gold things that I've ever seen in my life. I absolutely love it, and I know that I'm going to use it so much at Christmas. I mean, look how that goes on. It's just beautiful. It gives full coverage over black actually, which is really lovely. And it has ever such a slight green shine to it, which you'll notice more in a minute. So it's at the moment on that black it looks like quite a sort of dark gold with a green shine to it, but when it's over the nude it's a much brighter yellower gold, if that makes sense. There's not as much green shows up in it. You can actually see the green just down the right hand side there on the black one. You can see it showing up more. Absolutely beautiful. There we go. So I'm going to top coat those in a moment and I will show you how they come out. Now the next thing I'm going to do is rub these in the same way as I would if I was going to be doing chrome effect. So what I've done is I've done the colours and I've put a layer of top coat on. Now to start with, in the video I used the No Wipe top coat from Celaeno, and what I actually found as you'll see in just a moment, is that it did not work. I'm trying to rub it on and it was just brushing straight off the top. So what I've learned from this, is the first one I've come across, is that not all no wipe top coats work for this effect. So take two, and this time I have just gone over, I've wiped off the dust and I've gone over with a different top coat. And this one is still a no wipe top coat, but it's not the semi-lac one, it was one by RNK I believe. And you can see it's actually working this time, hooray! So I do apologise if that pop looks a little bit grubby now, I had to wipe off the dust from the last attempt. And you can see it does burnish in really nicely. Now, again, like with the chrome, you have to sort of apply it fairly generously and squeak it onto the nail. So using an eyeshadow brush, really sort of brush it in deeply in order to get that sort of shiny chrome effect. Can you see there? They look completely different when they're used in this way compared to using them the other way, and sort of burnish them into the sticky layer. So there we go, give them a good rub in if you're attempting this. Sometimes you need to do it a little bit longer as well than it looks, if that makes sense. You need to go back and just apply another little layer until it really does squeak. That's like the aim really, is getting that squeaky sound. Yeah, Medusa works really well for this. You can see it there, burnishing in really nicely. And you can see the shine it's giving as well, which is really lovely. And then my favourite again. And this one does work nicely. I still think I prefer it burnished into the tacky layer. I don't know, I just don't think it's as dramatic rubbing it in this way. But that being said, it does give a really cool metallic sort of chrome-esque finish to the nails. So it all depends on the finish you're looking for really. It did look good over the nude though. Put it all in. And again, just like with the chrome nails, if you're doing this technique, you need to make sure that your application of gel is absolutely spot on, no lumps or bumps, completely even coverage, and that your top coat has gone on absolutely evenly as well. Otherwise it is really obvious. I don't know if you can see there in the middle of that stick, my top coat's actually run down the side of one or two of them because I was a bit generous with it, and you can see really obviously where that's happened. Every little lump and bump shows up as well doing this, so you really have to be careful. And then you need to make sure you use a no wipe top coat on top as well. You can't just go ahead and use normal top coat again, otherwise it's going to go glittery and shimmery, which is not the look that you want if you're trying this application method. So make sure you've got enough no wipe on your brush, and I didn't really have enough on that one, but really do float it over the top surface. So a nice generous top application. And then cure in your LED or UV light. So now we're going to do Celaeno and Quasar. So Quasar is the first one there, and then Celaeno is going to be the second. And these are pure pigment glitters. Now, Quasar is really super fine, but it's not quite fine enough to be able to burnish into non-stick top coat like a chrome, if that makes sense. The beauty of this, although it is technically a white pigment dust, is actually it goes on over any colour, and as you can see here, it just gives the most amazing shine. And it doesn't really come into its all until you apply top coat over the top, and then it is absolutely stunning. Celaeno is a super fine glitter. It's got a really funny texture, it's almost like cakes. If you were to pinch a little bit onto your finger, it would hold its shape, kind of like baby powder does, if that makes sense. Not quite as fine as baby powder, but yeah, it's really bizarre. But it looks absolutely stunning once it's on. And again, when you're sort of burnishing it in, it looks really, really powdery, almost like sugar. In fact, this would be great if you were going to do some sugaring. It would look absolutely beautiful with sugar done as sugaring. But once you put the top coat over the top in a moment, you will see that actually that sort of white powdery sugariness completely goes away and just leaves the most wonderful blue and sort of silvery sparkle imaginable. If you're doing galaxy nails, this is the product you need. It is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Now I had quite a bit of excess there from where it sort of caked as I brushed it on, so I'm just brushing it off. Any excess off from the Quasar on as well. And here goes the top coat, and you will see it change. So it loses that sort of unevenness and the whiteness that was there before, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Now this is a normal top coat, and it is worth remembering to wipe off your brush in between pops or colours if you're doing on nails, otherwise you end up with a very sparkly top coat. And this top coat I'm using here actually is my favourite ASP one, but I have two bottles of it. I have one for normal nail colours where it's just clear, and I have one for glitters, so that if I'm glittering or playing with dusts, it doesn't matter too much if I do end up with a little bit of it in the bottle, because I'm only using it for glitter services anyway. There we go, and you can see all the powderiness has completely disappeared, and it leaves the most gorgeous sparkle on top of the nails. I don't know if you can see that very slight violet-y sort of colour it leaves behind. It is just stunning. Really subtle, but really, really beautiful. So I'm going to cure that now. And now we can start comparing them. So you have got Quasar and Celaeno there. And then we have got our other collection here. We have got Heart and Soul, Medusa, and we've got Lagoon. And you can see these are the ones on top that were from when we burnished it into the tacky layer. The underneath are from the chrome effect. I really hope this has been useful for you today, guys. Check out the description box below, and it has links for all of the products that you have seen today. Thanks very much.